RPG 2021. What about the other words? So I did the main words of the 19-20-21 in a PDF exploration. Now I will get through the other prompts of those days. I will get through, with you right now. So I'll begin. Hashtag RPG 2021 if you want to participate. So first word is storm. I'd like to talk to you about the old Marvel superheroes role-playing game from TSR. Yes. You know, I think if you take a survey right now and ask the people what is your favorite superhero role-playing game of all time, I'm pretty sure that Marvel superheroes will come into the top 5. It has struck a generation. Back then, you know, I've been introduced to it in high school. I was excited by it, so I bought it. My knowledge of the Marvel world was not very extended. You know, I was interested into some of the main characters, Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk. I was reading some comic books. I saw stuff on TV. It was in the 80s. But never knew about many other superheroes. And in the game, you had the stats of many superheroes from Marvel. So I opened up to other things that Marvel had back then, and one of them that I didn't know was the X-Men, right? So Storm is part of the X-Men. Storm is cool, you know, has black skin, white hair, her eyes goes white when she casts some, you know, lightning bolts and wind, and you know, I don't have to describe her much. But that was particular into the Marvel superheroes game. Probably it was a sample of what the heroes were at the time of that game came out. And Storm didn't have that look, you know, was casual look with long white hair. No, she looked like a punk, okay? Wearing leather combat boots and a big white mohawk on her head. And back then I thought that she was very cool. Since I didn't know the X-Men, I thought that she was always like that, but it was just, you know, a fashion of the moment, okay, right? When I discovered that she had this other look we know from her. But nevertheless, I thought that she was very cool, yeah. And she introduced me to the X-Men. So the positive thing about that is that through this role-playing game, I just, you know, reached out for other comics and other fiction to read. So it opened up to me to the Marvel universe, and Storm with her punk look helped me with it. Yeah, that was Storm. Style. Oh yeah, and I can pass under silence. Style points. All for one, Régime Diabolique. Style points. Sometimes it's a matter of death, life or death. Okay. Style points is a small gift that you can give, a currency that you can give to the players in order to help them. You know, what is frustrating about All for One, Régime Diabolique and the Ubiquity system is that you might roll the average, right? You want to succeed, this is a matter of life and death. You have 8 dice to roll. Guess what? You'll probably roll a 4. But yes, you can have 5, 6, 7 if you're lucky. Imagine that the matter of life and death needs you to have a 5, the difficulty 5-0. Well, that's where you want to spend style point, because you want at least to, you know, put you under the illusion that you secure the average. Nevertheless, it helps a lot, you know. It's a dramatic tool. There's a lots of currency in many role-playing games, so I think that style point strikes the most, okay? They're vital. And you can also use them to kind of soak some damage you receive to make some heroic stuff with that. You know, it was just a scratch. I think when I ran All for One, the last time I ran All for One, you know, I kind of I was able to rise the number of style points I could give, and it really changed the face of the game. You know, it was more heroic, but still dangerous. So yeah, style points, I really love the way they work. I really love them in that game, so I lift my hat to style points. Next, Patron. I think I will change the word a little. I will call it Patreon. You know about Patreon? you know, you subscribe to that and you encourage someone into their craft. So I only subscribe to one Patreon because I really like the guy. I talk to you about it once in a while. This is a French role-playing author called John Grumpf. And I decided to encourage him, you know, because beyond buying his book, you know, I really like what this guy is doing. And if, you know, subscribing to his Patreon, giving some money every month, and it's very, you know, it's a minimal amount. Well, if I can keep him motivated to continue, you know, I'll do. And his Patreon is very generous because every month he produces something. That guy is a machine, you know. He's alone into his business. You know, he writes his role-playing game, he makes the illustration, the editing. Of course, he has friends for some aspects. For example, playtesting. He playtests his stuff. Though his Patreon stuff might not be as playtested as his current regular production, it is from high quality, okay? You may receive a bunch of illustrations, you may receive, through the Patreon, you may receive a full role-playing game. I saw that. I saw also a setting book, a hack of one of his game into another setting. Every month there's something. So I'm very proud to help him and, you know, help him and encourage him to continue, and with all the gifts I received through his Patreon, and it's awesome. So it's a good thing. Next, peace. Oh, peace is boring. It's boring. Well, okay, yeah, as commoners, we love peace. We love to be in a world in peace. When you play role-playing games, usually when you play some heroic character, you're not a commander, okay? You're there to go to fight something. You are at war with someone, an enemy, something. But you are useful in order to bring peace, okay? You're the one holding the sword to defend the commanders, usually. So yeah, you go at war, you defeat the big bad enemy, and then peace comes. Yeah, and when you succeed into bringing peace into some sort of a kingdom, well, you could just go elsewhere, search for another war to fight in order to bring peace. Yeah. So that's our job as an adventurers. Often. Right, next, Lineage. I've played the Lineage into my True 20 RPGS campaign that I've just finished. The character, the elf character of the group, into his background, you know, he had the classic "I don't know my parents, I was given to someone to raise me." So it has been on standby from most part of the campaign, but during maybe the 10, 12 last sessions, I began to put that into the game. And he discovered in the end that he was the son of the mother of the Great Wind, which was the main reason they were on the mission. So it was a little cheesy Darth Vader style, but nevertheless, we like that, you know. We love our cliches. But it didn't came as easy as that. It was a big reveal officially in the last session, you know, the closing session. That's where he had this revelation, because someone claimed to be his mother all the way. Someone told who was his father, which is true in my notes. And he discovered about all his family that he has met throughout the campaign without knowing that it was them. So there's a big lineage. He's part of a big elven lineage, a noble elven lineage that just fade away with through some dark ancient stories. So yeah, so Lineage was fun to play there, and the big discovery was satisfying. I think he was satisfied with the answer by the end. Next, a lie. I'll talk to you about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Right now, I'm into that little campaign with, you know, with my rock and roll band. I talked to you about this. And yeah, we're in a few first sessions. But yeah, there's something, you know, that we can see in the air, okay? A possible alliance between them, the group, and someone that I could describe as, for his position, between Jabba the Hutt and Littlefinger in Game of Thrones, okay? It's some sort of a crime boss, but at the same time a big someone who knows everything and try to pull the string on the behind. And they've met him officially once, and they made a deal with him. They don't trust the guy, but you know, I'll try to make him a valuable ally, even if they don't like him. A little like Littlefinger. And the Jabba the Hutt part, well, is just not to mess with him, because they'll be in big trouble. We'll see where it leads, but my goal as a game master would be on, you know, on the best, you know, the best scenario would be them to have him as an ally to help them into their quest. So that is the ally I want to talk to you about. Challenge is very important. Challenge, as a player, I want to be challenged, okay? I don't want it to be easy. Heroes do work hard to get to win, okay? So yeah, that's what I like to do when I'm a player. You know, what do when I get a game master, I try to, as much as possible, make the dice roll towards a challenge, something that is challenging, something that has big consequence. So challenges is very important in role-playing game. Fear. I never used games where fear was a mechanical issue here. You know, like Call of Cthulhu, Sanity, and anything. I saw other games that had fear into, you know, into the mix. But at the same time, I think I'm able to bring fear to the table. I'm not much into horror, but at the same time, I think fear, you know, can be brought, you know, when you bring challenges and something, and you can see your characters might be in peril. So you see the stress, and the players don't want to lose their characters. The monster is too strong, and you know they're afraid. So that's the kind of fear I can handle. And I think the players, without having a mechanical way to simulate it, can go with it. You know, they can play their character and kind to act out fear when it feels right. So yeah, that's how I see it. And motive. Well, motive is very important. You know, the characters must have a goal. Sometimes, you know, when you start, they might not have a clear goal, okay? Often you have to know your character. You have to pull out some switches and pull out some strings, and to see if the shoes you're wearing are good, the shoes of the character. So it's not an obligation to have a clear goal to start with, because you have to play with your character. But once you know what your character can do, in order to keep the interest, you have motive. Okay, you have some goals to bring to the group. So yeah, that's what will help you get on the long term. It's like Monopoly. Okay, Monopoly. Okay, it's when you get around the board 2 times. Well, you know, it's fun to buy some terrains and, you know, interact with the board. But after 2 turns, you know, it begins to be boring, right? Okay, it's all the same. So you have to have you need a motive, a goal. You want to broke all of the other players. You want them to be broke and all this stuff. So yeah, it's a very simple example, but sometimes it may be like that in a role-playing game. When you start, like I said, you have to try out your character to see what it does, and after you know how the switch work, well, you have to put life into that, and a goal and a motive. Yeah, that's pretty much what I had to say for day 19, 2021. See you next for there's 6 days left of Other Words, Other Prawns. See you then. Bye.